What's going on, family? Look, check this out. We have to do a better job at monitoring the circle that we have. Because right now you have people inside your camp or ministry that are not equally yoked to your ministry. And what do I mean by that? Right now you have people that will deceive you in the position that you're in into doing something that would be harmful to good people. I'm going to say that again. Right now you have people inside your camp that will deceive you in the position that you're in into doing something that is harmful towards good people. And we've seen a good interpretation of this in the book of Daniel chapter 6, where it talks about how Daniel ended up in the lion's den. Because Darius at the time was deceived by his administrators through their jealousy of Daniel and his gift. They deceived Darius into creating a law for 30 days that will end up throwing anybody in the lion's den that worshiped or served another god or worship anybody else outside of Darius at the time. And before Darius could realize this, he had already signed off on it. But it was the people inside of his camp that deceived him into doing something that was harmful towards Daniel and anybody else that worshiped the God that Daniel served at that time. And these things happen when you don't acknowledge the authority that you have in your position. See, I want you to be able to write this down. You have to put yourself in a position to be able to understand the authority tied to the position that you're in and the authority that God has given you. Because when you don't take the time to understand the authority that you have in that position and the influence that God has given you to that position, you will end up allowing yourself to be victim to the deception of everyone else that is in your camp. See, Darius had the authority. He had the authority. And I just make the assumption that he did not recognize the authority that he had until it was too late. Because at this point now, he signed off on something that condemned Daniel to the lion's den. And it was through the grace of God and through Daniel's prayers that the mouths of the lions were shut while Daniel was in there. He wasn't hurt. See, a lot of us are given authority in the positions that God has granted us to be in. But a lot of times we don't recognize the authority that we have, and we end up giving that authority over to other people inside of our camp that cannot handle or manage the authority that God has given us. See, we're given that authority and we're given that influence for a reason. Because God knows that we can handle that authority and be able to make the wise decisions that are needed in benefit of everybody else. But when we don't recognize that authority, we end up putting ourselves in positions where other people are hurt, and those other people are good people. And so we have to be better at monitoring the people that we allow inside of our camp, because not everyone is equally yoked to the camp that you're in and the camp that you created. But you have to have the wisdom and the discernment to be able to see who is for you and who is not for you. Stop allowing everybody inside your camp because they talk good or, they may have somebody to vouch for them. Look, you don't know the true intentions behind people. And so you have to be able to watch their actions, because people talk all day and what you do will cancel out what you say. Real quick, I'm going to say it again. What you do will cancel out what you say. People pay attention to your actions. 70% of communication is nonverbal. People pay attention to what you do. You can say, hey, I'm okay, but then your body language says something else, or the facial expression says something else. You have to be mindful of the authority that God has given you. You have to understand the positions that God has placed you in. You're in those positions for a reason. So don't allow anybody to deceive you out of your authority. Don't allow anybody to deceive you outside of the influence that God has given you. Because you're given that influence, you're given that authority for a particular reason. And it's time that we start using it in the way that God intended us to use it in. So like I said, it was going to be a quick video, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Because a lot of us have given God-given authority. But through our lack of understanding of the authority that we have, we end up being deceived by people that cannot handle the authority that we're given. Because you see how quickly they deceived Darius at the time into doing something that was harmful towards Daniel and anybody else that worshiped the God that Daniel worshiped. We got to pay attention to that. So y'all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, all right? Love y'all.